Well, the world has still gone nutty, buddy, even downright cruddy, buddy. We shall miss the past, buddy, but there's still Buddycast. No, don't be naughty, go meet a buddy here on Buddycast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Buddycast, Nick Sorensen.
It's segment 2 on Buddycast. That's right, we're having a double buddy feature today. My name is Nick Sorensen. You all know me. I'm your buddy. I'm your host. Joining me today all the way from Utah, which is why I love Buddycast, because we connect with buddies all around the place. All the way from Utah, my buddy Singing Greg. How you doing, Greg?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, Greg, you and me connected through Guestillo. Tell us about your experience with Guestillo.
Yeah, so I am new to the platform. I've been reaching out to a bunch of different hosts to get on with their podcasts and talk about singing.
Nice. So that leads me to my first question. What got you into singing? Tell us about your singing journey, like to where it led you to today.
Yeah, I mean, driving around in the car when I was a kid, my mom would always be playing Celine Dion or Disney soundtracks, or I guess you'd call them Mormon boy band a cappella groups. Not so popular in the mainstream, but I don't know. We always had music going in the car, and I'd just be singing along, trying to match the silly a cappella sounds. In high school, I thought I was going to be a basketball player, but I got cut from the sophomore team, and I had to find something else to do. So again, mom twisted my arm into choir, and I've been singing ever since.
Nice. So when did you decide to turn this into a career?
Yeah, I tiptoed around it in college. When I graduated high school, I auditioned for a small junior college, and they gave me a small scholarship to take singing lessons and be in some of their choirs. But I was always averse to like becoming a music major. A couple of years later, I tried an opera workshop class, and I enjoyed it, doing preparing some different numbers from operas. And then I auditioned for a larger university, the University of Utah, and I sang in their opera program and did a couple leads for about 3 years.
Wonderful. So what are you up to today? Like, tell us about what's going on today.
Yeah, so like I said, I had some opera training at the university level, but after a while, I found that the singing in foreign languages is beautiful, but I don't know, it's just a little bit less accessible for audiences. Like, I'd invite my parents to see me in Cinderella. I'd be Prince Charming, and after the play, they asked me who I was. So I've since transferred or been doing more musical theater. So I'm preparing for a production of Fiddler on the Roof that will go in February to April.
Tell us about that. I love that show.
Yeah. So we have a theater here called Hale Center Theater, and we auditioned a couple months ago, and I had a callback audition. I came in and sang Tradition and read some lines from The Innkeeper, and I found out that I'll be in the show. So it's about a 6-8 month project. I went in a couple weeks ago, and they gave us the scripts. They told me not to shave my hair or my beard until they do. So I get to be a hairy monster in for going into the new year. But yeah, we did costume fittings last week, and we haven't even started rehearsals. So nice. Next month we'll start running through lines, putting the scenes together, putting the music together. And then it'll be about a 7-week run. We do about 10 shows a week, and we'll probably add some matinees. Fiddler on the Roof is super popular.
10 shows a week.
Yeah. So there's 2 casts that alternate. So I would do the Tuesday, Thursday night show, and then I would do a 4:00 and a 7:30 on Saturday. But they're going to add some 4 p.m. matinees during the week, and then we have some school matinees during the day.
Nice. And what character will you be playing? The Innkeeper?
No, I'm Papa's ensemble number 2. So I'm one of the only guys who didn't get a name or an occupation. So I guess I get to be the walking, talking, singing guy with a beard.
Nice. So you basically get to be yourself in the show.
That's right. I guess they picked me to be me.
Nice. Nice. So tell us about, you have a YouTube channel, don't you?
I do.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm posting some videos about vocal technique, but I'm also doing some reaction videos to some music videos. I think we're going to get into some highlights from The Voice or America's Got Talent, and then I'll be doing breakdowns on how the singers are doing, what's working for them, and from a voice teacher's perspective, what people can take away from those competition shows.
Nice. That brings up a good follow-up question. Have you ever auditioned for any shows like the America's Got Talent or The Voice or anything like that?
I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I've just heard it's just like a 6 to 8 hour process of standing outside, and that didn't appeal so much to me.
Mm,
I don't know. I think it's great for people to kind of get out there and share their stories. I mean, a lot of these artists have unique backgrounds, and that seems to be a requirement for being featured. But yeah, from a music level, I respect that like everyone gets access to it. Like everyone gets to be a singer if they want, and it's cool to see the different styles people bring to shows like that, and how they have original takes on covers. Taking music we love and taking it in a new direction is always a fun twist.
love it. Love it. And you're right. Everyone can be a singer, no matter who they are. But you can help them along the way, can't you?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the number one question people bring to me is that, hey, like, can I sing? They ask me for permission. I don't know. A lot of people have had bad experiences, whether it's like a parent or an elementary school teacher who has heard them sing before they knew what they were doing and kind of dismissed their ability to sing ever again. And a lot of people have taken that identity on, and it has inhibited them from trying it ever again. And they come to see me when they're 25, 35, 45, and they're like, hey, can I do this? And they sing for me, and I say, yeah, absolutely you can. Their abilities are further along than they realize, but it's such a mental game. It's such a permission. I always say, you don't need, like, people don't need my permission to sing, or they shouldn't need it, but I don't know. I give it freely. You know, it's like a ratatouille. Everyone can cook. I think everyone can sing.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's something everyone can do, but it does take work. You know, like I could become Gordon Ramsay, but I didn't. You know, I chose singing instead.
And you can offer coaching, right? Like you can coach them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. Even on the first session, people are able to connect with singing with a piano. It's a little bit tricky at first, but once they get that repetition and those patterns going, it's amazing how fast they can progress.
Could you give us any like success stories you have from students?
Yeah, so a lot of the kids are like from high school are auditioning for the lead in their musical. I have this one gal who came in for lessons, and she had some skills, and we polished up her audition materials, and last year she sang the lead in Little Women, and this year she's singing the lead in Big Fish. So as a sophomore, she got the lead in the school musical to the disdain of all her peers. And then she went ahead and did it again her junior year. So I think she's off to some great success.
Nice. So when you're not singing, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I really enjoy solving puzzles. So I'm a student of chess, and I've also been picking up Sudoku and variant Sudoku. There's a channel on YouTube called Cracking the Cryptic I've been following, and they have just like it's the classic nine cell kind of grid, and they have different requirements, and it's fun to kind of mentally think through those puzzles. It's something I enjoy.
Nice. And I see a Rocky poster in the background. Is Rocky one of your favorites?
That's right. Yeah, I'm a fan of all the Rocky series, and then the Creed movies that have come out recently.
Yes.
That's my buddy and I. It's our tradition is to go see the new ones in theaters. So we've got 3 Creeds so far. We'll see how many we go, and after they're done with that, I'm sure they'll start the Drago series up. So the Rocky universe will never end.
Never. I actually a couple of months ago, I had back-to-back weekends where I met Apollo Creed. I met Carl Weathers in Cleveland, and then over to Pittsburgh where I met Ivan Drago.
There you go.
So that was
That's
a lot
awesome.
of fun. Yeah, and both of them were stellar characters. Both of them were stellar, like
Perfect.
stellar
Perfect.
people. I remember talking to Carl because Carl has this funny story about how he auditioned for Rocky. I don't know if you've ever heard it. He
Uh-uh.
auditioned he auditioned for Rocky, and he was reading these lines, and like both parties were getting frustrated. He didn't know it. He was reading with Sly, and so he's reading and reading, and then he finally just gets up and says, "Well, if you get me a real actor, for crying out loud." And
Yeah,
Sly just looks
I
up at
heard
him.
that was the whole thing because Sylvester Stallone wrote the script
Yep.
and he insisted that he starred in it. So
Yes.
he was going back and forth with
Yep.
the
That was the motivation behind
with the
it.
studio for a while. They kept rejecting him, but he kept insisting it, and that was his big
Mhm.
break.
It's absolutely. He sold that script for less than half of what it could be. He did everything. Like, he was down on his luck. I remember that story. He was down on his luck. He had to sell his dog just to eat. He had to do everything, and he wrote up Rocky as like his final hope. Sold it to less than half of what it's worth today. And then the first thing he did when he got the money was buy his dog back.
There you
And
go.
that's the dog that was in the movie.
There you go. That's awesome.
So, what is your favorite Rocky movie?
I mean, you can't really compete with Rocky 4. I mean, the epic montage, the prep to get revenge for Apollo and fight Ivan Drago on their turf. I mean,
Yep.
that you can't beat Rocky 4.
Nope. I'm a fan. I have to say, I'm a fan of Rocky too because it's really that movie where he gets everything he deserves. He gets the wife, he gets the, spoiler alert, he gets the championship. He
I mean,
gets he gets
the
his
movie's
son.
been out for enough decades. I think
Oh yeah,
we're late for spoilers. If you haven't
yeah,
seen Rocky, I mean, you got to see Rocky.
exactly, exactly. Favorite Rocky quote?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hanging on my wall. Like the world ain't all sunshine. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
actually saw Rocky the musical on Broadway. Did you
Ooh,
know there was a musical?
yep. I like the song "Sometimes a Loser Can Win."
Yeah, I mean, it was super unique because at the end they had the center section. They had like 6 or 8 rows of the audience get up and walk on the stage and stand on the bleachers. And
Ooh,
they brought in a ring from the fly system and they brought it out into the audience. So I was on the side seats, just ringside. So it was cool how they they like, you never see that in a theater, a boxing ring in the audience.
mm-hmm.
So that's kind of special. They had like reporters with cameras like on the stage that were like broadcast to projectors on the wall. I mean, it didn't compete with Phantom or Les Mis, but I thought it was special as a Rocky
Mm-hmm.
fan.
That's a good question. What are some of your favorite musicals?
Yeah, there's some awesome stuff out there. I really enjoy Come From Away. You can see that one on Apple TV. It's about September 12th. It's about all the planes that landed in Newfoundland when the airports were shut down in America after 9/11. So it was about the town that just got like 80 planes out of nowhere and didn't really have the population to support so much tourism. But it's about kind of how all those people and businesses were able to kind of like put people up in schools and hospitals and wherever they could find. And it's a cool narrative retelling of the different stories of people who were just on a plane on September 11th, got redirected.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Tragic but awesome.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I mean, more so about like the humanity of like and the support system of coming together after the tragedy. It didn't focus so much on the event itself, but it was just more so about the hospitality of strangers from across the world banding together and finding what unites them.
Mhm.
It's lesser known, but I think it's really impactful. It's so cool when, I mean, historical events. I don't know. I was in a production of Titanic the musical, and
Ooh,
story wise, it's not so surprising. Everybody knows how that one ends,
yep.
but it doesn't take away from the fact that, I mean, yeah, they're just regular people, and then a bunch of people with too much hubris who took the unsinkable ship too fast and found out they needed a few more safety measures than they had. So yeah, I've really enjoyed being in shows and watching shows about historical events and kind of digging deeper into it and then connecting with it on a musical level. You know, it's words are one thing you read in a book or even hearing on a podcast, but I don't know, music takes it to that next level.
Absolutely.
In musical theater, people say you talk until you can't just talk, then you sing, and you sing until you can't just sing, and then you dance. I stop at the singing level. I don't quite go to the dancing level, but
You don't dance?
Enough to get by, but not enough to show off.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So you mentioned Fiddler on the Roof. Are there any other productions, any other projects you're working on?
Yeah, that's it for now. So essentially I'll be involved with this project until the spring, and then I'll kind of look at what the theater has on the audition plate. I think next winter they're doing Beauty and the Beast, so I'll throw my hat in that ring and audition for that project after that.
Wonderful. Who would you hope to get on that show?
Yeah, I'd love to play the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played Gaston at a small community theater a few years back, and that was fun. So to play the good guy would be a fun change of pace.
Yes. So Greg, where can we learn more about you? Where can our buddies learn more about you?
Yeah, so like I said, my YouTube channel is called Singing Greg Voice Studio. You can also find me on TikTok at Singing Greg. And then you also can check out my website, singinggreg.com.
And that's singinggreg.com?
That's correct.
Singinggreg.com. Check it out, buddies. All right, buddy. Now, to make this an official Buddycast, I've got two more questions for you. This is how I put my stamp on the episodes and make it my episode. The first one comes to us from my buddy Jonas Kane at #Positivity. He wants to know, in your own words, what does it mean to be someone's buddy?
What does it mean to be someone's buddy? You know, I think we have support from families. I think we have support from friends. But I really like thinking about how on a human level, like we can have relationship with people we don't have experience with just by virtue of the fact that we're humans and we're just all going through life. I think to be available for conversation with someone new and buy into it. I know, like, I just met you today, but we're able to kind of have some discourse, share some of my history, and kind of explore that connection. And I think that's what's great about what the work you do is kind of, yeah, like you said, connecting from people from all over and sharing those stories. Everyone's got them, so I'm grateful to share mine today.
Exactly. And just know you're not a guest on the show. You're a buddy. You're an official buddy on Buddycast.
Well, thank you very much.
So, buddy, the last question I got for you is what we call the ultimate Buddycast buddy question. You ready for this one?
All right, let's have it.
For anybody out there who wants a career as a singer, who wants a career as a performer, but just needs that little push, just needs that, you can do this. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, I just did a video about confidence in singing. And I would say that gaining experience is the best way to become a better performer. I don't know. You don't go from busking in the street to Taylor Swift overnight. But if you show up to karaoke for a while, you're going to develop those performing skills. If you audition for musicals, you're going to start out in the ensemble. You're going to start out in smaller theaters, and you can grow from there. I would also recommend getting some expert coaching from a voice teacher like myself. And what I tell my students is that the hard things to do in singing, whether it's singing high notes or holding out a long note, your body gets used to it. Your muscles develop that muscle memory of how to execute, and your brain calms down once you have more experience to do that. The more times you've hit that high note, you have more confidence to do it the next time. So I don't know, confidence isn't just a mindset or a place you kind of put your psyche, but it's where you achieve by succeeding X amount of times so that the next time you try that same thing.
Love it. Love it. Now, I lied. I have one more question for you. You know how we have to close out this episode? We need a demonstration.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Would you mind doing a little demonstration for us?
Sure. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to do Make You Feel My Love, song by Bob Dylan, maybe more recognized by Adele.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold on. Let me turn my piano on. You hearing that okay?
Yep.
Awesome. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I would offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue. I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Singing Greg, for that demonstration and for being a buddy here on Buddycast.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you, my friend. It just goes to show buddies can be just anyone around the world. All it takes is a simple introduction, and next thing you know, you got a buddy on your hand.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, buddy, for being a buddy on Buddycast. I have one favor to ask you before we close out this episode.
Sure.
Whatever you do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, even next year, promise me you're going to go out and you're going to go be someone's buddy.
Will do.
Alrighty, for all my buddies out there, this is my buddy Singing Greg. Please check out his website, singinggreg.com. Please reach out to him. I found him on Gustio, a really good platform. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on everybody's favorite show.
Well, the days are going fast, buddy, we've got to make them last, buddy, before they've all gone past, buddy, tune in to Buddycast. But don't feel none, it will make it, buddy, here on Buddycast.